Welcome back, humble traders. Today we'll be doing a technical breakdown on Carnival Corporation, ticker symbol CCL. This is a viewer's request. If you are new to the channel, I focus mainly on the potential traps laid out by the market makers, and I do not provide any buy or sell calls. Always remember, the stock market is never obvious. It is designed to fool most of people most of the time. So without further ado, let's take a look at CCL. So CCL has seems to be uptrending a bit, even though it's still below the clouds. It can be considered as a downtrend, but we're trying to pierce back above the clouds. But yesterday we are greeted with a candle of uncertainty. You can see that overall we do have a very nice wave pattern: wave up, wave down, wave up, wave down, and it's still continue creating higher lows and higher lows here, higher highs and higher highs. So that is a good sign of a potential trend reversal, and that is what we want to see during an uptrend. So where exactly are my next resistance in the event that this thing continues going higher and higher? So if you take this arrow here, you can just draw. This is simply the first wave up, and the second wave. It seems like it can potentially go up to about 2080 levels. You can see that this was a potential resistance somewhere here. So this thing, the opening price of this red candle may potentially be the resistance that needs to be cleared. And of course, the day high of this resistance needs to be cleared as well, which is around 2079. So we want to see this particular counter punching up above this resistance level before we can potentially head up for higher levels. And then the next level of resistance that I'm looking at, if you use from here all the way up to here, we may potentially see more upside in the event that this particular green candle here, you can see that this green candle, the high was around 2140, and the opening, the closing price, which is equally important, is around 2110. So 2110 to 2140 here, there needs to be another resistance that needs to be cleared. So say 2110. So this particular counter has a bit of tight ranging because there's a lot of upcoming resistance to clear. Unless it's able to punch through all of these resistance with good volume, then potentially we may trend up higher. And of course, not forgetting that there is this clouds along the way. So the cloud on the way up will act as a resistance. So I do expect a lot of resistance when the stock were to come to these levels around 2070 to around 2140, these levels here. In the event that we are able to break through this resistance at around 21, low 21s, then we may potentially punch up higher. And then I'm potentially looking at around, say, here, these levels here, which is quite high. It is around 2240. So this is, you can see that this is the first wave up, and then this is the first wave up, and then this is a potential second wave up. So we may be looking at a target of around 2240 to 2250. This is definitely a slightly longer term target in the event that these two resistances has to be cleared. So yeah, nevertheless, do note that because of yesterday's gap up, there is a very, very small gap that needs to be filled. So what we want to see is the previous resistance here has become support. So if the stock were to drop back down to these support levels, then we can potentially go up higher. In the event that we break down, then we may potentially test back these support levels at around, say, the support level was around 1780. So just below the $18 psychological support. But in the event that we do fall to those levels, then that would be not really a good sign. Okay, moving on, you can look at the MACD has a crossover at around somewhere at this $17 zone, and thereafter we are still currently heading up. So long as the MACD still points upwards and we do not cross down like here, then the stock will still continue to become bullish. So the next stock request is also something very similar to this Carnival Corporation, which is NCLH, is a Norwegian cruise. So you can see that the wave pattern are very similar, like what you mentioned. It was seems to be very correlated. You can see that we go up, down, a very small correction, and then we went up again. You can see that this particular stock was supported by this red line here, which is the baseline. It's a good sign. It shows that buyers are still coming in at support level. So this is also creating higher lows, and also at the same time higher lows and higher highs, higher highs. So that is overall a good sign. It shows that the stock is still trying to continue its uptrend. So for this NCLH, the resistance to watch is actually less compared to this CCL. So the resistance that have to be cleared currently is trading around 2118, around those levels. So if we were to draw the arrow, let's say for instance, this was the first wave up. So you can see that the second wave up was somewhere around here. We got rejected off around this price around 2015. So this was quite close. So this is the first wave up. So the next wave up, it looks like it may potentially hit to around this high of around 2236, around these levels here. So this is a resistance that may potentially hit up all the way. Nevertheless, yesterday's candle was a bit uncertain as well, and there was a gap created similar to Carnival Corporation. So you can see that the cloud is holding some resistance for this particular price. So we may see a little bit of pullback before going up. To hopefully this thing can turn support this high of 2055. This previous resistance can turn support, then that will be looking quite good for this counter. Of course, before we can hit to this 2236, 2235, these levels here, we have to clear this 2160 here as well, around 2160 here. This was a previous resistance that needs to be cleared. So before we can hit 2230, then we can see this 21 before we can clear this 22, before we can hit this 2230, then we must clear this 2160 first. And if we can clear the cloud with good volume, then there may be potential upside. And when we test this high of 2380, but that still seems to be quite far away. So let's take things step by step. Overall, you can see that the MACD also went up, so that's a good sign. So you just have to continue riding all the way up, right all the way up until there's a crossover. So if there's a crossover, then you may potentially want to take your profits and try to take partial profits or just sell them all away. So yep, hope I analyzed both of the stocks clearly for you. If you have if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to subscribe. As you keep the uptrend channel intact, leave a comment below on your thoughts on these two particular stocks, or if you have any other stock TA requests. Till we meet again, appreciate the manipulation.